Hi there, loves. Today I want to share with you a cycle that we can sometimes get into where, in order to love ourselves and respect ourselves and see ourselves as whole and deserving, we start reminding ourselves of all of the wonderful things that we've done, and we start reminding ourselves about our accomplishments, and we think about the things we've achieved and the ways that we're amazing, right? And we start telling ourselves the good things, the positive things, right? To drown out those internalized voices of those, external structures that have weighed us down for far too long. Today, I posted on Facebook at Jen Givon, and you're welcome to go check it out. All the things that I'm unlearning, the patriarchy and diet culture, and so many things that I'm unlearning in myself, and y'all are posting some amazing things about unlearning that we need to be attractive in order to deserve love, or be attractive in order to be worthy, and those things are not true, or that we have to achieve things at a certain time in our lives, that there's a proper timeline for these things, when the truth is that there actually might not even be any such thing as time. Physicists cannot define time, cannot agree on what it is. So the fact that, as a society, as a group of people, we've decided on this, monopoly structure of how we're going to live our lives according to time and money and productivity and worth, and attach all of our sense of worthiness, of pricelessness, right, of love, of who we are, attach it to that structure when, let's face it, is made up, right? And so if it's made up, which it is, you can disagree with me, but I'm here to tell you it's absolutely made up, right? I mean, money is paper, or an imaginary thing in the bank. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. My point is that if we can live by those made up things, then we can make up new possibilities. What happens for me, though, in this cycle sometimes, and it might happen to you as well, is that I start reminding myself of all the good things in myself, and the ways that my books are shining and singing and are comparable to the authors that I love. I just started trying to make up a little blurb about my newest novel, Jubilee, that's coming out this October from Blackstone Publishing, and I'm so excited. It's my heart. I've been working on it for the past 10 years since I birthed my daughter, my miracle girl, that I wasn't able to have children before that, and I'd lost pregnancies. And, I finally gave birth to my daughter, and only then was I able to write the story that had been hurting me and haunting me since I was about 15 years old. And had lost a pregnancy then. So, I start sitting down to write about it, and it has been rejected by countless publishers, and my publisher finally picked it up, and I'm so grateful. But I'm terrified. It's not getting major reviews so far. It's coming out in October, but I'm not feeling any buzz around it, and so I feel really down and low about myself. And so then I sit down to write about it and think about it, and I'm like, wow, this book is amazing. I'm amazing, right? And that's supposed to, in theory, give me confidence as I'm working on my third novel, which is almost complete. I have about 30 pages left to write on the first draft before I send it to my agent. And I'm so excited about it, but I get down on myself, and I start to feel like, because I'm not making a splash in the literary world, that I must not have any value. I must not have any relevance, and people must not need the truths and the healing journey that I have to offer. And so then when I remind myself, then what sometimes happens is that instead of just bolstering my spirit so that I can get back to work on the things that nourish my soul and that I hope will nourish others' souls, is that I start to feel like, well, yeah, I am amazing, and it turns into this almost vain type of, attention that I'm giving myself. And I don't mean to. I'm just trying to find a way to love myself, and a way to live with myself, and a way to love others. And, what ends up happening is that I get kind of, angry or jealous or envious, because I think, well, yeah, I am every bit as good, and I do deserve, such and such, to be in the New York Times, to be, at the National Book Awards, and I practice my speech of what I'm going to say at the National Book Awards, the way that some of y'all, I know you've been practicing in the shower for those Grammys or those Emmys. That's what I've been doing since I was a little girl, practicing for the Pulitzer Prize, practicing for the National Book Award, and so then sometimes when I'm feeling so down about myself, and then I start to bolster myself and my spirit back up, then I get to this point where I feel almost a grief, because I think, well, I am really amazing. So why don't other people realize this? And this pattern can be very destructive, because then instead of feeling good about myself, right, again, I'm actually, it's a way of, even though it feels vain, it's just another symptom of the self-abuse that I've learned since childhood, learned since girlhood, and with some trauma that I've undergone, sexual trauma in particular. And it just becomes another way to beat myself up, because then I think, well, if I'm so good and nobody's noticing, well, wait a minute, I must not be good at all. And it turns into this vicious cycle, right? And so one of the things that I think that we can do, what I'm going to try for myself, which is why I'm offering this here, not as a place for you to, do exactly what I do, because I haven't figured it out. I don't have all the answers, but just as a place that you can come and know that you're not alone, and know that even when someone seems to have it all together, I have several books published, etc. It doesn't necessarily erase, or it doesn't at all erase those feelings of, just not being enough. And I keep trying to remind myself I am enough. So what I'm going to do is just try and see myself outside of those structures, even though I think it'll take time to really stop caring about them. And I don't know if I ever will get to that place. I'm human. We're human, but thinking, my books are doing these things. They really are. And it doesn't mean that I'm so good, I need to compare myself with such and such, and I should be, I should be the first Latina to win a Pulitzer Prize, even though I do believe that, and not necessarily me, but I want a Latina to win the Pulitzer Prize and a National Book Award, please. But I would be grateful if it were me, but I mean, my point is that instead of having that as my goal, my goal is that I am reaching out to you. I'm putting my heart out there, in the hopes that someone else needs it, that someone else feels alone, that someone else will read my books and find solace. And that's what I have to connect to. And so trying to find structures of communing, of communicating, of nurturing, of loving, of nourishing, of hoping, of dreaming, of connecting outside of those structures, those monopoly, we're little pawns in the monopoly game. And, I want to be I was going to say the shoe, but I don't even know if there is a shoe. I haven't played Monopoly, like the real Monopoly, in a long time. Anyway, I'll leave you with this. You are enough. I am enough. And if they can make up, the powers that be, the white, Western, patriarchal society can make up those structures, and then we can too, and we decide what we're winning, what is winning? What does that even mean? And I think for me, winning would be joy, just to find joy again. And I hope that for you as well. I love you. Thank you.